Hello, hello, and welcome back to the 5 Foot Strong podcast. I am your host, Jessica Gerlock, and today's episode is one you won't want to miss. Joining me is Greg Graziotto, a man whose journey is nothing short of inspiring. Bullied in his childhood for being too skinny, Greg could have used and let those words define him. Instead, he used them as fuel. Now, he's charging up ski mountains, competing in grueling races most wouldn't dare attempt. In this episode, we dive into how Greg rewrote his narrative, turned pain into purpose, and built a mindset stronger than any muscle. Whether you face your own battles or need a reminder that growth is always possible, this conversation is for you. So let's get into it all and let's welcome Greg to the 5 Foot Strong podcast. Hey, Greg, how are you?
Great. How are you, Jess?
I'm great. So I'm going to ask you the question that I ask all the guests is what does being strong mean to you?
Being strong to me means not listening to those voices in your head. I mean, a lot of people, when they're faced with something grueling, something exhausting, something very physically challenging, they get those voices in their head. To me, it's like that primal part of your brain, that fight or flight saying like, oh, okay, this is really tough. Like you should really quit. You should save your energy. You know, should be resting right now. So to me, being strong is knowing that you have been training for whatever event you're doing, whatever kind of activity, and you're prepared for this. You know, you've been running, you've been exercising, you've been lifting those weights, you're improved your nutrition, and you're going to stick with it, and you're just going to ignore those voices and you're going to push through it.
100% being resilient and pushing through at the end of the day. So let's give our listeners a little bit of a backstory of your story of personal resilience. Go for it.
So my story, I guess when I was a kid, I was diagnosed with asthma. And for most of my adult life, I've gone through it without any puffers or anything like that, no medication or anything. But right around with COVID, with the masks and everything, something about it just kind of really triggered it and really started to come out for me. I got winded very easily. And, you know, like having kids, I got into that whole thing about, oh, I got no time for exercise. I can't do this. I can't do that. So it really manifested itself. So after that first wave, I decided, okay, you know what? I got to start doing something about what that trajectory that I'm on. And I need to make some positive changes in my life. I need to start exercising. Need to start eating well. And so like, that's what it really came down to for me. It's just like, I need to do something. I need to do something for myself. I need to do something to be that role model for my kids as well.
100%. So let's go back to when you were a kid and you were not built. Like right now you have a lot of muscle, but you were skinny when you were.
I was 130 pounds.
Okay, yeah.
Like I really hit.
And you're tall.
My height. I'm tall, so I hit about like 6'1", right around grade 8, right around there. But I was skinny. I was 130 pounds. You know, so
was that your insecurity?
That was my insecurity. I mean, you make yourself an easy target. I mean, a lot of people just look at it like weight issues, being overweight, but there is something to be said about being underweight as well.
100%.
You know, so especially for us guys, being skinny is not a good thing either.
Yeah.
So, you know, you just make yourself an easy target for bullying.
100%. And you know what? Just like you know about my story, I was too heavy, you know, or I was fat. And so that was my insecurity. So, you know, if you're perfect in any sense, you're going to get picked on if you're the outsider. And that picks on your insecurity. And that does a lot of damage later on in life to your physical and your mental health.
It does. And there's so many things that you just end carrying along with you, you know, and, you know, when you get older and, you're an adult. You start to recognize those things, but you still need to push through a lot of that garbage that's kind of like left over. And
100%. But now, so I know you've been a little bit into the fitness world a little bit from when I've known you for quite some time, and you were into mixed martial arts at one point.
I did Muay Thai for about 2 or 3 years,
Could you
right around
talk
there.
about a little bit of your fitness journey? Like, what'd you get into? What were you into, like, when you were skinny and then growing up? And, like, what were you passionate about fitness wise?
Uh, you know, it was random little things, kind of like peppered a little bit here and there. I never
Yeah.
really stuck with anything. I mean, like me and my friends would sometimes work out together, lift some weights. Later on, like I said, like I got into Muay Thai. After a little while, like that's when the kids started coming along. So, and like that, it was a little bit of that downward spiral from there.
And then,
Like
and then,
not.
how did you find race? Like, how did you find the Ironman competitions and all those kinds of things?
Well, they're actually Spartan races.
Spartan races, yeah.
That's what they're called. So just a quick little backstory with them. A lot of people are more familiar with Tough Mudders.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a little bit more in that kind of vein.
Mm-hmm.
So it's endurance style racing where they do take place on ski mountains, which is the biggest difference between Tough Mudders. Tough Mudders, you're on a trail run.
Okay.
Very little elevation gain. There's obstacles. Same thing as the Spartan races, but like that's where they kind of are. So where I discovered them was shortly, this is going back roughly about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, like when you start to exercise and you're on YouTube, you're on Facebook, you're wherever on whatever social media, those algorithms start to pick you up.
Mm-hmm.
So after a few months of me starting to get in shape, all of a sudden, like these ads started popping up for these Spartan races. And it's like, oh, endurance style races, there's 5K races, 10K races, half marathons, so on and so on. And so right from there, it's just like, oh, like could be fun trying something out like that, and just to see after like 6 months, like where would I stack up. So like first I did the 5K race, and then followed by a 10Ks, followed by a 21K race from there. So it's just been compounding over the last 4 years.
And what do you find, like, now that you have a passion for these races? What do you find? Do you find that strength inside of you, that confidence? Do you find it elevates when you do these races?
It does. It does. To steal a little quote, mindset is everything.
Yeah.
It 100% is.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you right now, like when I first started doing the races, I didn't know what to really expect.
Yeah.
So, like I'm racing along, and all of a sudden it was like you're going up a ski mountain, and then you're going back down it. And then, after a little while, especially like once I reached that 10K, and then especially with the 21K mark
Yeah.
at the very beginning, it was just daunting.
Right.
Like the hardest experience I ever had was actually my second race, which is a 10K race at Blue Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a beautiful day. The weather was perfect for the racing. But to this date, it was the hardest race I've ever had to do.
Right.
And because I didn't have that mindset just yet. I was about 6 or so kilometers into the race. I didn't have enough water in me. And all of a sudden I was at the base of the mountain, and I cleared this clearing to one of the ski mountains, and my eyes just went down the path and then went straight up the mountain. And that was like the north side of the mountain. And if anybody knows Blue Mountain, it's the north side of the mountain that has the steepest inclines.
Mm-hmm.
The Bunny Hills are to the south.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody was behind me. And I was just not ready for that. So for me, looking at it, it was just like, oh my God, how am I going to do this? And like, again, that mindset, I didn't have that mindset being like, no, like, and those voices just saying like, this is going to be really tough. You don't have it in you, blah, blah, blah. Like everything, those voices saying, quit, 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 quit. But,
But that's
like
what takes the strength inside of you to finish the race at the end, even those last few kilometers are at the end. It's like that's when the body, you can't even stop thinking about your body. It's all about just getting to the end, and that's when you have to use that mindset matters and be like, nothing's gonna stop you. Like, you got to have those voices that say, never, don't give up, don't give up, don't give up. Right.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, but for me at the very beginning, like when I first saw that, like it I heard those voices, but at the same time, it was kind of like that little voice saying, like, okay, explain how I can quit and justify this. But then after a little while, and I swear, there's like this internal discussion going on for about like half an hour, because like going up that side of the mountain probably took me about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And after a little while, I realized, like, wait a minute, like I'm about the halfway point of this mountain. And like, while I'm trying to have this discussion in my head about how I can justify quitting, it's like, wait a minute, like I'm already halfway there. And once I get on top of the mountain, like that's really it. And then it's just a few more kilometers. There's going to be a water station at the top.
Yeah.
And then I can finish this race and I can go home. I can go home proud. I can show the kids, like, listen, like you dig deep,
Yeah.
you get things done.
100%. It's that confidence that you have, you felt, you dug deep, and it's that, strength inside of you. We talk about being strong. It's that strength inside of you to get the race done. And, even when I give a client a workout, I always say, like, that last little bit is brutal. You just got to kind of push through it. And that's when, mostly your body will not give up before your mind gives up. If your mind, your body will give up.
Oh yeah.
And that's what you have to kind of like, what do you think the biggest difference between, like, somebody who has that mindset and somebody who just has the physical talent, maybe?
Like, you might have that physical ability, but every once in a while, like, there are different styles of races and everything like that. There's crazy events that are out there. There are death races and everything, going through deserts, hundreds of miles of desert and everything, going from one end to another. And
Yeah.
it doesn't even matter how much talent you might have, you still will find that one point where it's just like, my God, like I can't do this anymore. I mean, like, I don't know if that's a good thing to have a talent or not in one way, because you have to almost be humbled sometimes, and then find that inner strength and I'm saying, like, no, you know what, I have faced this before and I've done it. I've completed this. So, whether it's one of your clients lifting weights, bench pressing, doing squats or whatever, doing a certain weight, and be like, hey, you know what? I have done this. I did this last week with Jessica and I pushed through it and I got it done. So, you know what? That was last week. I still stuck with the program. If I can do it then, I'll do it again.
Yeah. And you just can't give up. You have to have that mindset of, like, you're just never going to stop. You're not going to stop mid-rep. You're not going to stop miss. You're not going to stop. You just got to, wherever your goal is, you got to kind of have that headspace to that.
100%. And I also think that it's also important too to set those goals as well. Like, once you kind of reach that level, then you kind of push through it. It's like, okay, like I hit that goal post that I wanted to get to. I hit that, and like, okay, what's next? What's the next heavy set I can do? What's the a faster 5K or 10K race that I can do, or anything like that? You always have to just keep on setting that bar a little bit higher.
So do you set personal goals, like, when it comes to your racing?
I do. Every year I try to do something a little bit different. These Spartan races that I do, what they do is, at least within our local area, they have what's called these trifecta weekends. So Mont Tremblant does it. Blue Mountain also does it. So what it is on a Saturday, you would do a 21K race, and then come back again on Sunday for a 10K and a 5K race all in one weekend.
That's a lot.
So it's a lot. It's a lot of endurance. It's a lot of training, a lot of prep. You got to, like, really push through, because those quads and those hamstrings when you're you're on a ski mountain, and for anybody listening, like, thinking like, oh, well, a race like that must be 50% easy because you're going 50% of the way up and then 50% of the way down.
Sounds brutal.
Oh, it is brutal because like when those muscles are screaming at you, going downhill can be just as bad. So for me, like to be honest, 2023, I was going to do a trifecta at
Hmm.
Blue Mountain. The weather turned bad. That was when I was doing the 21K. It got cold. It got raining. It got freezing cold once the sun started coming down.
Hmm.
And I did complete the race. I was
Hmm.
supposed to come back the next day to do the 10 and the 5. I couldn't. And the mountain beat me.
Okay.
But 2024,
Came back.
I came back.
Yeah.
I did Mont Tremblant,
Yeah.
trifecta weekend, and Blue Mountain. Two
Amazing.
back-to-back races, trifecta races
So
that
it's gonna
year.
be, a little bit of rain. You just gotta, come back and come back even stronger than the last time.
That's it. I mean, like, just so you know, like Blue Mountain, it's a lot of clay. You're not going to see it in the wintertime,
Well,
but
I'm not
trust me.
doing these races. I have no interest in doing
Well, maybe a
them.
listener might end up being
Yes, a
interested in
hundred
doing it,
percent.
but just be prepared because the Blue Mountain, they host the races at the end of October. So it's a wild card event. You
Gotcha.
don't know how the weather's going to be, and it is
Could be
clay and it gets slippery,
slippery, yeah.
even with trail running shoes and everything. It's very slippery.
Well, it's something good to know for anybody wanting to do these races, these Spartan races. So now, looking back, what have you learned from your past? Now that you're here, that you figured it out.
Um, for me, it's really built up the confidence
Okay, yeah,
because again, it's kind of like going back to what we end up talking about when that mindset. When I first started doing the races, I saw that like, okay, I'm out at the base of this mountain and I'm going up it. It's reached a point in me because like I've done these races several times now that
yeah,
when I'm doing them, I don't have that mindset anymore. Like, oh, I don't think I can do this. Like, no, I've done this before.
right,
And again, like for anybody out there that is training, whether you're going to do a Spartan race, Tough Mudder, or anything else, once you've done it once, you've got to have that mindset that like I can do this again.
yeah.
I could do this. I can do this harder next time because I've built myself up from there.
And what was that final that made you flip the switch and get started in this direction?
For me,
Was
again
there a
going back.
moment?
For me, it was sort of like a slow burn, to be honest with you. Again, going back to COVID and everything,
Yeah,
where I I always described myself back then as being like the Tin Man from Wizard of Oz. Like when you first see him, he can barely move. Like my hips were so tight, my muscles and everything. Like I felt like a 90-year-old man.
yeah.
Like again,
And
I've
how do
let
you feel
myself.
now?
Right now, I feel like I'm reaching probably like more of a peak, more of a healthier threshold than I've ever had in my entire life.
That's
I mean,
amazing.
like doing things right now that I never thought I could ever do. And like it's not ego, it's just it is confidence. It kind of
Yeah.
builds up inside of you, being like, hey, you know what, like again, like doing
That anything is possible. Put your mind to it.
anything is possible. I mean, like I just signed up actually this past week for my first full marathon in
Amazing.
September.
Amazing.
So so I'm starting to train for that. I just finished running a half marathon over in Burlington a couple of weeks ago. So it's like, okay, like I, it's
So you
kind of
have
like a
that
bucket list
mindset
thing.
that, like the bucket list, anything is possible, and you're on
That's
the
it.
upward spiral now, and age is just a number.
Age is just a number because like, it is what you make of it. I mean, you still got to listen to your body. I mean, I
Yeah.
still have those 48-year-old things that ends up happening, like you go to bed feeling one way and then you wake up and it's like, oh, I got a pain in my neck or my
Yeah.
shoulder or my knee or something like
Right.
that. But like those random kind of things, you do still have to listen to your body, but you push through things and you just get things done. You work with it. Okay, my knee is sore. Okay, like let's make it an arm
But you
day
move
instead.
forward and you don't use it as an excuse. You just, kind of adapt around.
That's it. That's it. You find your workaround and everything like that. I can't do this exercise because it's hurting me. I'll do something else.
So
Right?
one question is how do you prepare physically and diet before a race?
Um, for me, I do try to stick with intermittent fasting. Usually I do skip breakfast. I
Yeah.
try to do I try to do a 16-8
Mm-hmm.
intermittent fast.
Yep.
Um, for me, it's I try to focus more on good carbohydrates, lots of protein,
Perfect.
and try to keep that especially if I'm running, I try to keep the fat and the cholesterol and everything down because I regret it instantly when I start going for a run. It just gets right into the lungs. It feels like I've been smoking all my entire life. They
Yeah.
burn,
Feels the
right? And
you
it's
feel
not
the
a nice thing.
difference in your
Oh
body.
my God, you do. So you really do. It is good because it does kind of really gives you that physical barrier that where you can't eat so
Hmm.
chunk food all the time because you really when you are training, you really do feel it. It
It
does come
carries
out.
you down a little bit. Yeah.
It does. But I know that when I have a big race or whatever, that good 3 to 4 days right before the race, that's when I just do the active rests and everything
Yep.
I need to recover. And I'm sort of focus on again, good carbohydrates. And it to me, I look at it's not a beauty contest when I'm getting to the start line.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm eating my sweet potatoes, I'm eating all my vegetables, my rice, my quinoa, couscous, whatever. I'll eat whatever I need to get my those carbs built up inside me so I can have the energy for the race.
And if for the listeners, carbs are the body's source of energy. So when you are training for something, you do carb load because the body will use those carbs first as an energy source.
Oh yeah.
Just for letting people know. So before we end, do you have a healthy tip for someone your age maybe looking to make a healthy change in their life?
To me, I end up finding a lot of people right around my age. They start sentences by talking about their age.
Yeah.
It could be like, well, I'm 50 years old, so I can't do this and I can't do that. And, must be nice or blah, blah, blah. And it's you know what? When you do things like that, you already set up a roadblock in front of you. You already gave yourself an excuse not to become active, to make changes into your life.
Yeah.
You you don't want to have that plan B. Just let them think about it. Take it one day at a time
Mm-hmm.
and just always move forward. Start with little exercises and everything, and just keep on setting that goalpost again. But
Those small
never ever
goals add up to bigger goals.
they do, and for me as well, I find what's very important are those early stages, those first footsteps that you end up doing on whether you're going to call it a journey or your story or whatever it is. I find it so important to look at those pictures or to remember about how you end up feeling when you first started to exercise, those reasons for why you start to exercise in the beginning, whether you're overweight, whether you're underweight.
Mm-hmm.
Look back on it and let that fuel you. Let it kind of sink into yourself and being like, hey, after 3 months of training, you hit that plateau or you hit that block inside your head. You look back and say, hey, you know what? Look at me now,
Yeah.
kind of a thing. And, look at where I am now compared to where I was before. You have to be proud of where you came from. So that's why for me,
For
you can't
sure.
shy away of
Yeah.
that person that you were, and whether you're going to say goodbye forever to them, just remember where they came from. They were the person that you were before. They helped you to become the person that you are right now. Be proud of that. Love yourself, but
Yeah.
always, 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 always look at how far and appreciate where you have come.
100%.
Of that journey.
I've been on my journey for 11 years and I still have that before picture on my phone. And I don't post it. I don't want people to see it, but I know it's there. And once in a while I look at it and I go, "Whoa, I've come far." And it's
Yeah,
a really good feeling and it gives you that confidence. And maybe you don't see those little steps every day, but that overall picture is really beautiful at the end of the day.
It is. I mean, like, of course, you're not going to see it because it is a long journey, and it is a journey for anybody. But
Yes.
like, it is a sobering moment when you end up looking at it. Like, never look at it with shame or disgust or anything like that. You look at it like, hey, you know what? Look at where I am right now.
You should be proud. You should
Be
be proud.
proud. Be,
100%.
love it.
Well, thank you so much, Greg, for sharing your story. I hope it inspires people to make healthier changes in their lives, no matter what your age is, no matter where you are in life. It just make those healthy changes because it will build that self-confidence inside of you. So thank you for sharing that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me too.
I appreciate it. If you're listening, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And remember, whether you're 5 feet tall like myself or 7 feet tall, we are all strong and in our own unique and beautiful ways. Have a great day and stay strong. Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Jess.